What's up, guys? It's Professor Gnome here, and we're going to be doing a Gholdengo deck today. I really like this deck personally. I think the Gholdengo idea is really fun. And just the art on all the different cards for this deck is great. I've also been really wanting an opportunity to use this Scizor art, so the fact that it works into this deck so well is super exciting. Punishing Scissors is a very underrated attack, considering that most cards do have abilities on them, so you end up doing a really large amount of damage for only a single energy. And also Gholdengo's attack for just the being able to discard for 50 for every energy is super strong. You're actually able to hit really high numbers very consistently. One of the only issues that you can run into is something like Path that can injure you and kind of stop you from being able to enact your strategy, which is why we run multiple workers. Alongside that, we run Lady, so we can always have the energy available to us to do, at bare minimum with the single Lady, to do 200 damage. We run the Letter of Encouragement, where we're able to find the last of our energies. And once we've used them, we have multiple things like Energy Retrieval and Super Energy Retrieval, along with some Super Rods, to pretty much always be able to find our energy. Finding energy should never really be too much of an issue for us. Really, as long as we can keep our strategy going, we'll be able to cycle through cards very quickly. The Make It Rain attack is super powerful, but also the coin bonus ability is super strong because it allows us to draw cards almost endlessly alongside things like Radiant Greninja, which again is why we need to make sure that Path is never really active, which is why again we run Worker, and we're never really worried about not being able to get into it, thanks to how fast we're able to like thin and work our deck through. Definitely let me know what you guys think of this build. It seems to be the most common variant of it. I've just kind of changed up a couple things that I felt were necessary, that I saw lacking in other people's builds. Like, I think the Letter of Encouragement is super important, and other cards like it, like running one Lady and things like that. But definitely let me know what you guys think of the build, and I'll see you guys in the game. Alright, we're into the first game. We're gonna go first. Something I hope to be able to show off in these, in these games is that this deck actually has an extremely powerful turn 2. Unfortunately, we're gonna mulligan here, and so that kind of sucks. We'll see what we end up grabbing. How many times did we end up mulliganing? 2? I guess that's not the worst. This isn't bad. So we'll set that up. We'll go there. And like I said, the turn 2 for this deck can actually be really powerful, just because it doesn't take too much to get things set up and things going for you. So we'll go ahead, grab ourselves these, I think is the best play. We'll Earth. We'll hold on to this for now. Don't think we really need this anymore. Grab ourselves 2 energy. Place 1 onto that. We'll discard 2. That's pretty good. Let's PokéStop, see what we get before we choose what we're going to discard. I think we'll get rid of the Cross Switcher. Grab another 2 energy. Help thin the deck out a little bit. Go ahead and use this to grab ourselves... Yeah, we'll grab ourselves the other 2 ghouls, just because we don't need anything else anyway. And now we can end our turn there. So as long as we're able to find ourselves the Gholdengo, we're in an extremely good position for ourselves, and it shouldn't be terrible to find, considering we still have plenty of cards left. to search one. So like our Ultra Balls, things like that, we'll be able to draw with our Greninja. Because we can always get these energies back with the Energy Retrieval. And it looks like they're pretty stuck, so that's really good for us, because even if this, you know, takes a little bit of time, we're in a great position. But just like that, we found what we were looking for. Now we can go ahead, draw 2 cards. We got our Cross Switcher. Now we can PokéStop, because it doesn't really matter, but we may as well grab it. We lost the worker, but who cares? Then we'll just Energy Retrieval, grab 2 back. We'll attach 1 for turn onto that, because it can be really useful later. Then we'll just discard 2. Knock out the Charmander. It sucks that his, you know, he kind of seems to be pretty bricked. That's unfortunate for him. And doesn't really show off the true power of how strong this turn 2 can be. But to an extent it kind of does, because it really didn't matter what he would have put out there. We would have been able to get the knockout on almost anything that he would have put out. Obviously, except like Charizard EX. If he had that, we would have been short a little bit of energy, but we would have been able to find it if we like really searched for it. We'll grab the pen, use the penny, so that way you can get Mew up to the front. Try to unbrick himself. The one good thing about this deck, too, in a situation like this, even though this game's kind of a stomp so far, even though there's a lot of game left to be played, is I feel like this deck, similar to, like, Roaring Moon EX, I feel like it's very, very, very hard to put yourself in a position to, like, make a comeback against this deck. Because what are you supposed to do in a situation like this? Where, like, even if he attacks into me, it's not going to be enough damage. He doesn't hit for weakness. I can Ultra Ball here. Get rid of that. I'll get rid of that, because I don't really need them anymore. Go ahead and grab the second one. Evolve this. And then we can go ahead and just draw. So we'll draw 2 cards from this. Another card from this. We don't need our letters anymore. So we can go ahead and just grab ourselves the 3 energy here. I should have Greninja'd first. I thought I already had 4 in the discard, but that's fine. That sucks a little bit. But, you know, could definitely be worse. What we could do, actually, and I think this is what I'm gonna do, is we'll discard these 2, right? We're gonna go grab ourselves the Scizor, and this will just confirm the game. Something that I'm doing right here that I think is maybe something that like newer players should see. The kind of first instinct is to just go ahead and knock out the Mew and stuff like that, like just kind of walk through the game the way that it typically gets laid out. But if I do this, I kind of have the opportunity that, like, the game ends right here. There's nothing more that he's going to be able to do. So you kind of want to not throw a game just because you're ahead. is kind of what I want to be able to showcase in this, like, kind of instance. I think this is a really good teaching moment. That it'd be very hard, or very easy, essentially, to throw the game right there. Just by kind of being complacent. When you, like, when you don't have to be. Like, I hope that's clear for everybody. And now he's kind of left with 0 options. We know he has the Charizard in hand, but it's like, what can you really do with it? It kind of really isn't going to make much of a difference. Scizor is in a position that he's going to be able to get the knockout, and we're just going to end the game right there. As where before, he, you know, could have went into Charizard EX. That would have been a little bit difficult to knock out. And we would have had to, like, potentially figure out more plans, like, depending on what else he had. So we bricked a little bit, but we definitely made the right plays at the right times, and I think that's the most important part to show here. And just how good the opening of this deck can be. But that's going to be the end of game 1. You know, I think it showcased things pretty well, and we'll see you guys in the next. Alright, we're into the next game, and we're going to be going first. So that's very good for us. We may be able to really show off the power. We, mulligan again, man. Things are looking a little rough for us lately. We mulligan twice again. 3 to 4, okay, 4 times. Jeez. You know, that's suboptimal, to put it lightly. He's gonna start the game with 4 extra cards. Oh, it's Roaring Moon with 4 extra cards too. Alright, that's very unideal, to put it lightly. But, you know, we've experienced worse. So we'll put 1 on there for now. We'll toss that. Thin our deck out a little bit. We could Vessel again, but I don't think we want to yet. We'll have to see. There's, in theory, he puts 4 Mons down that all have abilities, and so we might actually be able to do something with Scizor here. But with him playing Darkrai, it doesn't appear to be that way. So we're gonna have to find our Gholdengo off 1 top deck and a worker. We might be able to find like an Ultra Ball or something with their PokéStop. So that's good, at least. We'll get somewhere there. They have 3 energy, so they're going to be able to power up. Pretty much everything, because they're going to attach from hand, Dark Patch, and if they have an energy swap, then that's just full powered, which is what I assume they're looking for. Darkrai with this build is actually pretty interesting because the V-Star would be so strong in it, with how fast you can accelerate Dark Energy. So I think that's pretty good. And the ability to like grab back your Dark Patches or another item that you need can definitely be really, really good. So that's strong. I might actually want to try like build out using something with that. Curious why he got rid of the Switch. Kind of feel like that's valuable, but maybe it's not. I don't see what's in his hand. Or he might be grabbing like a Squawk, and just gonna end up discarding everything anyway, so he might not want it. Guess we'll have to see. It does mean though that Scizor might be kind of worthless this game if he's running things like Darker Eye. Because normally you're looking for like the Moltres V, the Squawk, and the Greninja, and then like one other thing like Brutal Bonnet or something like that to be that extra slot. And so that way you can hit for 210 and start bossing stuff up for easier knockouts. Unfortunately, that doesn't really seem like what we will be able to do this game. Alright, Earthen Vessel for another Earthen Vessel. I guess he's just really digging for an energy swap. And just doesn't play the Squawk. If he can't get into the energy swap, and when we PokéStop into Worker, then and we grab the Gimmighoul, or sorry, not the Gimmighoul, the Gholdengo. Still getting used to all these names. Then we're maybe in a fantastic position. So I think we evolve just to get that off the board. We go ahead and thin our deck out with this a little bit. Let's see what we get off the PokéStop. There's a Switch and an Ultra Ball. That's super big for us. Because now we can Worker. Get the last bit of energy that, you know, the last couple cards we need. We might not want to get rid of the boss. Getting rid of the lady is not bad. I think we have to get rid of the words of encouragement here. That's so good. Alright. So now we have everything we kind of need. The problem is we'll probably get KO'd back on the next turn. But that's still relatively okay. So we'll go ahead, draw our 2 cards. That's great. We'll grab the 2 energies back. So that's another 100 damage. So now we have everything we need for the knockout. We have the boss for later if they do play down like a Moltres V or something. So that'll be good for us. We have Super Energy Retrieval to be able to grab us back those energies. We have an Ultra Ball to get into our next Gholdengo. And our Scyther's already here. So if they ooh, okay, the Iono makes that a little bit interesting. Okay, never mind. We're still in a perfectly usable position. Because if they use their Frenzied Gouging, then all we're going to do is set our Scizor into play, get the counter KO, search out our next Gholdengo, and be ready to just use that. Which is what they decided to do. Yep, so same play as before. Go ahead, pull that. We got the 1 energy we were looking for. We can go ahead and Worker just to see what else we find. We'll actually hold on to the PokéStop here, and the reason for that is that if they can power any of these up or whatever on their next turn, specifically this, it can't knock us out with Calamity Storm unless he plays his own stadium down. So we're just kind of hoping to prevent him from having his own stadium for the future. And then we can always worker to remove it later. We also don't really need these. So I think we can get rid of that. Yeah, and then we'll just go ahead and grab our next Gholdengo, so that way we have it. We'll draw one card just to see what it is. If it's useless, then perfect, we can just use it for Vessel. We won't need that anymore. Grab ourselves 2 more energy out the deck. And we'll place this down, just in case we draw into it later and want to evolve it. Alright, so now all we need is pretty much a superior energy retrieval. Got it. We'll be able to kind of hunt down for a boss to just pull these up, go into Gholdengo, and end the game. Because we already have all the energies we need in the discard pile. We'll be able to draw a total of at least 7 cards on our next turn, if we really have to. They're going for the Ultra Ball. So I guess... I wonder what they're looking for. They could be looking for... Okay, there's the Dark IV. Dark IV is not really going to do too much for them in this position right now, I don't think. Because they could grab some Dark Patches. But that's not going to do too much. Because even in this position, they'd have to... Yeah, I was going to say, they'd have to have... Even with a stadium down, it's not going to matter. There's no way they get enough energies on board to Dark Pulse down Gholdengo, and they'd have to Frenzied Gouging in order to do it, even with an energy, even with a stadium in play. And then my Scizor's already powered up, so I don't think they can really go for that. So I don't know if there's anything they can really do. I'm trying to think. This is kind of the stage, so one of the things that I wanted to kind of bring up now that it already happened is that in game 1, where it was kind of a shorter game, I wanted to make sure I included that, and now that I had kind of a break in the gameplay to discuss it, I'd like to take the opportunity. The reason why I want to show that and kind of highlight it is because I feel like that's a good teaching moment on how to, like, not throw, like, a lead or an advantage. And I guess, like, I hope it kind of makes sense. If it doesn't, either, you know, ask me in the comments, I can elaborate on it, or, you know, maybe I'll just use better examples. But I guess what I wanted to bring up is that something that you'd like to see more of? Where, like, even if it's a shorter game, if it highlights a very specific thing, like some sort of combo or moment, or like something in an area that is good to kind of be aware of in order to improve, if that's something you'd prefer to see, or to kind of cut those games out and just do longer form games like this where the gameplay is more back and forth. Definitely let me know in the comment section below, or if you prefer, like, if I was going to highlight those moments, to kind of make sure they take place within a game unique to themselves. The reason why I asked that is because I think, like, so a situation like this is related to that, where I think it's good to be able to kind of think ahead and discuss to yourself, or, you know, in any format you choose to do it, kind of the best way that you think your opponent can beat you. Like, if you were playing them and you were playing their deck, like, how would you go about winning the game from their position? And I think that's something important to kind of discuss. So here, they went with an interesting choice that I guess they just wanted to hope that I wouldn't be able to pass one, you know, that damage threshold of 290. But unfortunately for them, I absolutely can with very little issue. And even if I couldn't, we're just gonna boss this up. It makes no difference. It's the same damage threshold anyway, but you know, we'll kind of just play the same game. So we'll just get rid of these. I guess I could have workered just for more cards, but it wasn't gonna matter. I had the option to knock out either one. But yeah, that's going to be the second game. But yeah, definitely let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section below. Along with, you know, like always, guys, any deck that you want to see, any game, like any different, you know, kind of changes to the format that you'd like to see, definitely let me know, and I'd appreciate all the feedback. I'll see you guys in the next one soon. Make sure to like, comment, all that kind of stuff. It really does help, you know, kind of get the channel off the ground here. So I appreciate it all. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.